Hi, so I wanted to give you a little bit more information because I felt like I didn't get a chance to fill you in on all of the cool websites that I was talking about this morning. So the first one I wanted to take you to was the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs. So I just typed that into my Google search bar. It comes up, and this is what the page looks like. If you can go to who we are, it has the treaty and the documents right underneath it. You can click on it and it gives you a little bit of background information and then all of the documents down here that I listed on the document that I gave to you. It also talks a little bit about the history, which would be really good for all teachers, especially new teachers, to read. And it just gives a very, very brief history of Warm Springs. Um, it talks about, whoops, has our people, and so it talks a little bit about the holding on to the spiritual and cultural traditions. The government page has the different committees on it. I'll let you read it. The tribal council, past leadership, and kind of how things work. Natural resources. The really cool thing about this is if you're doing other units like a forestry unit or a fisheries or a wildlife, is if you have questions, you can go to the specific place and you can just type in your name and your last name and your email and your message, and it'll automatically go exactly to who it needs to go, and you can hear back from them. Like, let's say if you wanted somebody from fisheries to come in and talk about the salmon life cycle or things like that. The services, culture and heritage are the people that come in the morning and do some of the Rise and Shine program. So it's kind of, I think, the same thing where you can go. Oh, there's not really a contact here, but you can see the different information that's um, offered there. Has the enterprises that we have here in Warm Springs. Has the aerial, the manned aerial things that are really cool. And so if you wanted to look up any of these things to study. So that's pretty much our webpage. And the really cool thing is that all 9 tribes in Oregon have their own webpage. So if I wanted to do the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, they also have their own webpage. So if you're studying the 9 tribes, you can look up every single tribe and they'll have their own webpage just for future. The next one was the VFW, vfw.org. If you go to community and you scroll down to youth and education, you can see some of the other things they have to offer. But if you go to youth scholarships, they have the Voice of Democracy, and this is actually for high school students. So I scrolled past that. And down here they have the Patriots Pen, which is the contest that they have every single year for grades 6 through 8. There is a November 1st deadline to get the entries into Tamara. So I understand that that's a really fast turnaround and probably not enough time to do quality work, but for some of those high flyers, it might be enough time. But it's something to think about maybe for next year. It has the eligibility requirements and complete the application. And it also has past winners that you can look at and use as student examples of a nice winning quality paper. The next one is kwso.org, which also has a lot of cool, neat things in terms of this presentation that we're going to get on November 8th. You can scroll down to Native Doctors. You'll click on the link here, the SoundCloud link. It shouldn't do that. When you click on it on your computer, it should take you there, and all it will show is the 5 different segments, and you can click on those segments and it will allow you to listen to the doctors Eric Brodt and Amanda Brugel, and talking just about their stories basically, and it's really neat. But in addition, other resources that this has, it does have the community calendar, so it talks about the different things that are happening today in this community. It has the local news on it, the No Dapple update. Well, that's what I call it, the No Dapple. But it has the North Dakota, or the Dakota Access Oil Pipeline. And it also, on the SoundCloud, there's links also to listen to stories of people that from here that have traveled there, so you can hear stories and incorporate that in. Oh, there's Mark. Let's see. The news, the Spiliite has a link to this, our local newspaper, and it also has the archives, so you can look up any past newspaper for any articles about, let's say you're working once again on the fisheries. You can find how we fit in with the Intertribal Fish Commission, and so you can see kind of how we fit into the bigger picture, or you can just look up or look through it and have them find an article themselves about local events and happenings. So that's another good resource. It does have its own brief history, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that word, culture, and the treaty and documents here as well. It talks about our government, and it has the current tribal council seats, veterans, elders, education, programs. This is really exciting. It talks about the different programs. So I know in the middle of the day they have All Things Considered from NPR News, and they talk about a lot of different issues every single day. So that might be something to consider if you want as a resource to have them listen and copy down notes and have some really rich discussions. So it has the program, but it also has program descriptions of the different programs that they run throughout the day, so that you can get a better sense of what to look for. And then also down here, you can listen to them live. So you can listen to those shows that are happening in the middle of the daytime. So that's KWSO. And then the very last one was Indians in Oregon Today. So if you look up Indians in Oregon Today, the one that I gave you said that it should have the library dot whatever. This one, the Bureau of Land Management, also takes you to the same place. And it looks like this. And this is Southern Oregon University Conaway Camp that they have every single year. So it gives you all 48 pages of it. So there's the table of contents that I gave to you this morning. Gives an introduction, the guidelines for teaching about Indian culture, using the material to teach to the Oregon Social Sciences academic content standards. One of the things that I know you're probably thinking is these are outdated. You're right, they are. But if you look at the American Indian, Alaska Native, Oregon Indian Education State Plan, and I'll show you that next, you can incorporate this into that. So it has just by concepts. And this is kind of an example of what the lesson kind of looks like. So you can see it is geared more towards middle school and high school level, but it's definitely, I think, easy to tailor to 4th or 5th grade. And if you need help doing that, I'd be more than happy to help you. And then the American Indian Alaska Native Oregon Indian Education State Plan. Looks like this, and if you look right here, a lot of that Indians in Oregon today can fall under this. So historically accurate, culturally embedded, place-based, contemporary, and developmentally appropriate American Indian Alaska Native curriculum, assessment tools, and instructional materials that are developed in collaboration with local tribes. And those, the Indians in Oregon today was developed here in Oregon, and so it does meet this objective for the Indian Education State Plan. So although the content standards may be a little bit outdated or differing a little bit, we're still hitting the standard, which is important as well. Anyway, if you have any more questions, just give me a holler and I'd be more than happy. And sorry I took 11 minutes of your day, but I'm done. I'm done talking. Thanks. Bye.